Hello, Matrima, you're watching Hornbill TV Spy Midnight. No headlines. Calling for a boost to indigenous production across sectors, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday said that the government is standing shoulder to shoulder with the stakeholders. Ahead of the Bihar Assembly elections, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi on Thursday announced the release of most backward justice manifesto to strengthen the backward communities and maximize their participation. The police have launched a major crackdown over yesterday's violence on arson in Ladakh. Around 50 people have been arrested during pre-dawn raids and searches in Leh. India's indigenous designed and developed wheeled armored platform WHAP 8x8 made in collaboration with the DRDO and Tata Systems Advanced Systems Limited is set to take Indian defense innovation to the global stage. On the initiative of Governor Annadiben Patel, a grand event for the worship of girls was organized at the Raj Bhavan in Lucknow in collaboration with the private organization Prerna. During the program, 5,100 girls were worshipped, while 200 girls were administered the HPV vaccine. Notably, as many underprivileged families are unable to afford the vaccine, the Raj Bhavan, with community support, has launched a special campaign to provide free HPV vaccination to 50,000 girls. The state's universities have also extended their support to this drive. In the Vasant Kunj alleged molestation case, additional DCP Southwest Aishwarya Singh said that an FIR has been registered and the victim's statements are being recorded in accordance with law. She added that the investigation is progressing and the Delhi police is making every effort to arrest the accused, known as Baba. The role of the warden and others is also under scrutiny. A search of the premises has been carried out as per legal procedure and digital evidence is being collected. Singh further informed that a separate FIR has been lodged after a car bearing a forged diplomatic number plate was recovered from the premises of the Sharata Institute.
जो पीएसवी के नॉर्थ में कंप्लेंट आई थी उसके तहत एफआईआर दर्ज कर दी गई है और अभी जो विक्टिम्स हैं उनके स्टेटमेंट्स लिए जा रहे हैं और इन्वेस्टिगेशन इज प्रोसीडिंग एज पर लॉ। मैम कितने लगभग विक्टिम्स के स्टेटमेंट लिए जा चुके हैं और अभी बचे हैं? देखिए नंबर देना उचित नहीं होगा क्योंकि इन्वेस्टिगेशन स्टिल ऑनगोइंग है, स्टेटमेंट्स अभी भी लिए जा रहे हैं बट वी आर प्रोग्रेसिंग इन द इन्वेस्टिगेशन। मैम एक सवाल ये है कि काफ़ी लंबे टाइम से मतलब करीब अगस्त से ये केस रजिस्टर हुआ है, बाबा का क्या पता चल पाया आप लोगों को? लास्ट लोकेशन पता हो, पुलिस ने संपर्क किया हो, कुछ उसने वर्बली तौर पर बताया हो, रिटन तौर पर कुछ बोला हो पुलिस से? इन्वेस्टिगेशन अभी जारी है और बाबा को ट्रेस करने का फुल एफर्ट कर रही है दिल्ली पुलिस और दक्षिण पश्चिमी जिला भी पूरा प्रयास कर रही है कि अक्यूज्ड को जल्द से जल्द नैप कर लिया जाए। इसके अलावा हम सवाल ये है कि जो एफआईआर है उसमें कुछ वार्डन्स का भी जिक्र है, क्या मैम उनके एलिगेशंस हैं और ये भी है कि वो विक्टिम्स के फ़ोन से मैसेज डिलीट कराती थी और इस पर क्या कहेंगे मैम आप? जो इन्वेस्टिगेशन और एज पर लॉ देखा जाए तो जो भी को अक्यूज्ड हैं, चाहे वो वार्डन्स हो चाहे फैकल्टी हो या किसी के भी अगेंस्ट अगर एलिगेशन होगा तो इट विल बी प्रोसीडेड एज पर द मेरिट्स ऑफ द केस एंड सबका रोल अभी एग्जामिन किया जा रहा है। इनसे पूछताछ हुई है मैम वार्डन्स वगैरह से? इन्वेस्टिगेशन इज ऑनगोइंग इन द मैटर। इसके अलावा हम सवाल ये है कि सीसीटीवीज के बारे में ये कहा जा रहा है कि लड़कियों के वॉशरूम्स के बाहर सीसीटीवी लगे हैं, तो इसके बारे में मैम क्या कहेंगी, क्या उसकी पोजीशनिंग है सीसीटीवीज की इस इंस्टीट्यूट के अंदर? जो प्रेमिसेस है उसका प्रॉपर्ली सर्च एंड सीजर प्रोसेस एज पर लॉ इनिशिएट किया गया है और जो सारा टेक्निकल और डिजिटल एविडेंस है उसको एज पर लॉ कलेक्ट किया जा रहा है। मैम क्या सीसीटीवी फुटेज है पुलिस के पास
जिस दौरान के एलिगेशंस लगे हैं या फिर डिलीट की गई है?
इन्वेस्टिगेशन इज ऑनगोइंग एंड वी आर प्रोसीडिंग एज पर लॉ।
इसके अलावा
BMW का कुछ पता चला है ना? BMW भी क्योंकि FIR में इसका जिक्र है BMW का।
जब शारदा इंस्टीट्यूट में सर्च की गई थी तो वहाँ पे एक व्हीकल मिली थी वॉल्वो, और उस पे एक फॉर्ज नंबर प्लेट थी, डिप्लोमेटिक नंबर प्लेट थी। उसके तहत एक सेपरेट FIR रजिस्टर की गई थी और उसी के तहत बाकी इन्वेस्टिगेशन भी जारी है।
क्या मैम इसके अलावा कुछ और बाबा का एसेट बरामद हुआ है गाड़ी के अलावा?
इन्वेस्टिगेशन इज प्रोसीडिंग एज पर लॉ इन द मैटर।
मैम एक सवाल ये है कि LOC भी खोला गया है, तो बाबा के खिलाफ किस तरह से एफर्ट आप लोग कर रहे हैं उसको डिटेन करने?
देखिए, पूरा प्रोसेस जारी है और फुल एफर्ट्स किए जा रहे हैं कि अक्यूज्ड को जल्द से जल्द नैप कर लिया जाए।
मैम एक फ्रॉड केस का भी जिक्र चल रहा है जो पुराना है, वो मैम वो कब का केस है और उसके बारे में क्या कहेंगे?
इन्वेस्टिगेशन इस केस में चल रही है, तो जब ड्यू कोर्स ऑफ टाइम में आपको बता दिया जाएगा।
मैम इसके अलावा जिस तरह से ये हॉस्टल है जहाँ पर लड़कियाँ रहती हैं, क्या उसको खाली करा दिया गया है? ये भी खबरें चल रही हैं, और कितने लोगों का रहने का वहाँ पर अकोमोडेशन है?
नहीं, दैट विल बी एबल टू टेल यू इन ड्यू कोर्स ऑफ।
Ahead of the Bihar Assembly elections, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi on Thursday announced the release of most Backward Justice Manifesto to strengthen the backward communities and maximize their participation. In a post on social media X, Gandhi accused the Bharatiya Janata Party (BJP) of lying and having diversionary conspiracies contradictory to his party commitment to ensuring full rights for backward, Dalit, tribal and minority communities. He further wrote in his social media post that the Congress party aimed to increase access to education for the backward communities. Further, the Congress leader wrote the reservations would be implemented in private colleges and universities, and half of the reserved seats in private schools would go to the SC, ST, OBC and the EBC children, further assuring that unjust practices like that of not found suitable would also be brought to an end. Rahul Gandhi guaranteed social justice and equitable development for the backward communities. On Wednesday, speaking at the rally in Patna, Rahul Gandhi said, even today in this country, there are extremely backward classes, Dalits, tribals and minorities, all of whom don't receive the participation they deserve. The entire country recognizes this truth. Congress wants to conduct a caste census and show the true population of Dalits, extremely backward classes and backward classes in this country.
सोच थी कि आज भी इस देश में अति पिछड़ा वर्ग है, दलित हैं, आदिवासी हैं, अल्पसंख्यक हैं, जिनको जितनी भागीदारी मिलनी चाहिए नहीं मिलती है। इस सच को पूरा देश पहचानता है। हम जाति जनगणना करवाना चाहते हैं क्योंकि हम दूध का दूध, पानी का पानी करवाना चाहते हैं और दिखाना चाहते हैं कि इस देश में दलितों की, अति पिछड़ों की कितनी आबादी है, माइनॉरिटीज की, आदिवासियों की, गरीब जनरल कास्ट की कितनी आबादी है, पूरे देश को पता लगना चाहिए। वो हमारी विचारधारा है। दूसरी तरफ, पता नहीं आपने देखा या नहीं, उत्तर प्रदेश में क्या हुआ आपने देखा? आपने देखा कि उत्तर प्रदेश में अब जात बेस्ड प्रोटेस्ट करना मना है। एक तरफ वो सोच है और दूसरी तरफ हमारी सोच है। आज हम यहां क्यों आए? क्योंकि हम अति पिछड़ा वर्ग को एक विजन देना चाहते हैं।
The police have launched a major crackdown over yesterday's violence and arson in Ladakh. Around 50 people have been arrested during pre-dawn raids and searches in Leh after Lieutenant Governor Gavendra Gupta vowed to act against all those involved in Wednesday violence and chair the review meeting today. The police have also registered an FIR and charged Congress councillor Punsok Santing Zepang over the violence. However, it's unclear if the councillor of Leh Hill Consul is among those arrested by the police during the recent crackdown. The center, meanwhile, has blamed climate activist Sonam Wangchuk and his provocative speeches that led to the massive violence. At least 4 protesters were killed, while 90 others were injured in the clashes and firing by the security forces. After the violence, curfew was imposed in Leh district. The Indo-Tibetan Border Police was deployed to maintain law and order alongside the CRPF and local police. Restrictions have been imposed in Kargil in the wake of a shutdown call for standhood and constitutional safeguards for Ladakh. We'll take a short break. Keep watching.
तुम्हारा नाम क्या है?
2047 में कैसा होगा विकसित भारत का विकसित उत्तर प्रदेश? क्या आप चाहते हैं कि कृषि क्षेत्र में नवाचार और पशुधन की समृद्धि से बढ़े अन्नदाता की आमदनी, गांव-गांव तक पहुंचे चौड़ी सड़कें, हवाई यात्रा के लिए किसान की जेब में हो पैसे, विश्व स्तरीय शिक्षा और वर्ल्ड क्लास इलाज, बढ़े उद्योग, रोजगार, नौकरी और अपना व्यापार, रिन्यूएबल और ग्रीन एनर्जी हो यूपी में फुल, ताकि कभी न हो बत्ती गुल। डीप टेक, एआई और इलेक्ट्रॉनिक संसाधनों का बिछे जाल, सांस्कृतिक धरोहर का पुनर्जागरण और गौरव काल। क्या आप चाहते हैं ऐसा उत्तर प्रदेश? अगर हाँ, तो उठाइए मोबाइल, क्यूआर कोड को स्कैन करें और पोर्टल samarthuttarpradesh.up.gov.in पर लिखकर या बोलकर दर्ज कराएं सुझाव। आपके सुझाव से बनेगा विकसित यूपी का रोड मैप और मूल्यवान सुझाव देने वाले किए जाएंगे सम्मानित, क्योंकि आपकी राय विकसित यूपी बनाए।
तुम्हारा नाम क्या है?
Welcome back. Addressing the United Nations General Assembly on Wednesday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky extended his remarks beyond the war in Ukraine and said Europe cannot afford to lose Moldova to Russian influence. His comments came after Moldovan President Maya Sandu had recently warned that Moscow was attempting to undermine her country's independence through a plot of stir domestic unrest. Moldova, a nation of 2.3 million people, continues to face pressure due to the Russian military presence in that breakaway region of Transnistria, fueling fear of a potential invasion. This appeal coincides with hurdles facing both Ukraine and Moldova in Ukraine advancing their EU aspirations. Ukraine's bid to join the European Union remains blocked by Hungary veto, a situation that has also stated that Moldova's application, Euronews reported.
Nations can speak about their pain from stages like this, but even during bloodshed, there isn't a single international institution that can truly stop it. That's how weak these institutions have become. What can Sudan or Somalia or Palestine or any other people living through war really expect from the UN or the global system? For decades, just statements and statements. And even everything happening in Gaza remains without a way out. Even now, Syria, after all the changes, still has to appeal to the world to ease the sanctions that are choking its economy. It has to ask and wait. Syria deserves stronger support from the international community. And as Russia's war against my country goes on, people are still dying every week. Yet there is no ceasefire because Russia refuses. Russia abducted thousands of Ukrainian children, and we have brought some of them back. And I thank everyone who's helped. But how long will it take to bring all of them home? Childhood slips away faster than adults are able to help. Look at Israel. Nearly 2 years have passed and hostages still haven't been freed. They must be freed, but even that still hasn't happened. And for years, there have been no real answers to other threats, either chemical weapons and famine used as a weapon. Last year, at this assembly, I warned the world about the risk of radiation disasters, especially due to Russia's occupations of our Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, the biggest in Europe, but nothing's changed. Nothing's. And yesterday, the plant went into blackout again, and Russia hasn't stopped shelling even in areas near a nuclear facility. And because of international institutions are too weak, this madness continues. Even being part of a long-standing military alliance doesn't automatically mean you are safe. Just recently, 19 simple Russian drones violated Polish airspace, and only 4 were shut down. Luckily, they were not shaheeds or even worse. Otherwise, the results would have been horrific. Estonia had to call a UN Security Council meeting for the first time in history because Russian fighter jets deliberately entered its airspace. Moldova is defending itself again from Russia's interference. We have helping Moldova, and Russia's trying to do to Moldova what Iran once did to Lebanon. And the global response, again, not enough. We have already lost Georgia in Europe. Human rights and the European nature of the state system are only shrinking there. Georgia is dependent on Russia. And for many, many years, Belarus has also been moving toward dependence on Russia. Europe cannot afford to lose Moldova too. It's important to remember how the world once ignored the need to help Georgia after Russia's attack, and how the moment was missed with Belarus. How Moldova must not be lost. And for Europe, supporting Moldova's stability is not costly, but failing to do so will come at a much higher price. That's why the EU needs to help Moldova now with funding and energy support, not just words or political gestures.
We'll take a short break. Keep watching.
तुम्हारा नाम क्या है?
Prevent HIV through safer sex practices. Use condoms. Abstain from casual sex. Be faithful to your partner. Experiment with your style, not your life.
तुम्हारा नाम क्या है?
Welcome back. United States Energy Secretary Chris Wright called on India to reconsider its oil imports from Russia, emphasizing that the US does not intend to punish India but aims to bring an end to the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. Addressing a press conference at the New York Foreign Press Center, Wright made the remarks on India's continued oil trade with Russia. He said, "There are lots of oil exporters in the world. India does not need to buy Russian oil. India buys Russian oil because it is cheaper. Nobody wants to buy Russian oil. They have to sell it at a discount. India has decided to make the trade off to buy cheaper oil and look the other way, which is giving money to a guy who is murdering thousands of people every week. On engaging with India leadership, Rit said that he met External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar on the inauguration night and initiated a dialogue on future cooperations.
First of all, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for doing this. And Secretary, thank you so much for doing this as well. When you talk about the friction with India, what are the solutions that the U.S. is providing to India to stop the import or reduce the import from Russia, Venezuela, Iran? What is the solution? And are you planning to meet your Indian counterpart for a dialogue or some kind of a conversation going forward?
Absolutely. I met the Indian foreign minister on inauguration night and began a dialogue about cooperation and the future pathway between our countries. The Russia trying to find peace in Ukraine is a sticky thing, and we are both within the cabinet in the United States and with our allies trying to find the most creative ways to get this war to end. President wants nothing more than this war to end, and it would have the additional benefit of removing a source of friction. I'm all in on energy cooperation, trade cooperation with India. I think there's a bright future there, but somehow we got to figure out how to work together to put the maximum pressure to bring the war to an end.
But what are the solutions? Like any one solution that you can pinpoint? Rely on the U.S. for energy?
Oh, well, there's lots of oil exporters in the world. You know, India doesn't need to buy Russian oil, right? India buys Russian oil because they can buy it for cheaper. Because nobody wants to buy Russian oil, so they have to sell it at a discount. India has decided to make the trade-off to buy cheaper oil and sort of look the other way, that's giving money to a guy who's murdering thousands of people every week. So yeah, of course, we wish India would work with us to buy this. You can buy oil from every nation on the earth, just not Russian oil. That's our position. America has oil to sell, but so does everybody else. We don't want to punish India. We want to end the war, and we want to grow our relations with India.
That's all we have for now. Keep watching Hornbill TV.